here is to definitely look at the key up at the top. So if A is the first letter, A goes with D, and A has 3 loops and D has 3 loops. And then B goes with E, B has 2 loops, and E has 2 loops, right? So when you have a picture and it's marked, that's sometimes easier to look at. If you don't have a picture and or it's not marked, you want to look here. And then C and F go together because they just have 1 and 1. So then when you go through here, you're going to go 3 equals 3. So this is angle D. And angle B was 2 loops, so that's angle E, and so on and so forth, right? Pretty straightforward. Probably don't need to spend a whole ton of time on that. Slow me down if I go too fast, though. So this one, same thing. The first letter goes with the first letter. So the G goes with the Q. I cannot stress enough how you have to look at these keys, right? So if G goes with Q, that's 1 loop and 1 loop. That's the Q, right? And so on and so forth. Same thing with the sides. So HJ is the middle 2 letters. It goes with RS. So HJ goes with RS. Okay? I think it's not until like question number 4 that it starts getting kind of weird, kind of tricky. Notice here that if I have that little M in the front, that means the measure. I'm looking for numbers here. A couple people in the first block were like, Miss Doherty, I got it right. I should have at least because Y goes with N. Yes, Y does go with N, but that little M in the front means the measure of angle Y. I want a number there. So Y for sure does go with N, but I can't put an N here. I've got to put the 124. Okay, does that make sense? That little M means the measure. I'm looking for a number. Then in number 4, this is where kind of the rubber meets the road, and you've got to remember sides and angles. So if I'm looking for X and Y, what do I know about X? Where's the X? I see an X here. What does that 2X minus 50 represent? Is that side TW or is that angle U? It's angle U. So if I've got angle U, what does angle U go with? N. So I'm going to go find N over here, U and N. So how do I find N? 2X minus 50. So definitely 2X minus 50 equals the measure of angle N. I need a number in there. How do I find that number? What do I know about this NPM triangle? Yeah, I know the 142 and the 24. So I think this becomes 32, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? 180 minus 42 minus 24. No, that's not right.
I did 2X minus 50 plus 142 plus 24 equals 180.
Ah, that works too. So we could add 142 and add 24 and equal that to 180. So we could add all of those. Am I remember X equals 32? Yeah. Is that what I remember? Okay. So X equals 32. There's a lot going on in this problem. You've got to know that U goes with N. And in order to find N, you need to know all of those equal 180. So we can add them all up, set them equal to 180, right? Once you have that, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Trying to get a different color. Once I do that, how do I find Y? I do. So NP, and this is where I'm not very good at using this thing yet, is drawing lines. NP is a side. So NP goes with US. Those last 2 letters go with the last 2 letters. So US is over here. That's that 13. So 2X minus Y equals 13. What do I do? I have 2 variables. How does that work? Plug in the 32. So I've got a 32 over here. So 2 times 32 minus Y equals 13. And then Y equals what? I got to subtract 64 from both sides. Subtract 64. So 13 minus 64. 13 minus 64 is negative 51. Can it be negative 51? It's positive because this is a negative y, right? So if I subtract 64 from both sides, I get negative y equals negative 51, or positive y equals positive 51. Okay? Kind of some tricky algebra in that question. Question number 5 is also tricky. You got to look at the markings that are opposite. So if I know W, what I need you to notice is that W is opposite that 2 tick mark line. Okay? So if I find this 2 tick mark line and I go to the opposite corner, that's Y. W goes with Y. Then I go to X. X is that 1 tick mark. So that's easy. That's Z. And then the only thing that's left is the W. It's this part that's kind of tricky. So a lot of people want WXY to be the same as WZY. That's not going to work out. Yeah?
It's not like all problems, but what I did was since it went from W to X, it went from this side. That's like a little angle thing.
Uh-huh.
So then I just went from Y to the little angle thing, YZ.
Absolutely. And it will work for all of them if you do it that way, right? All right, these parallel lines, dun, 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 they're dreaded. I strongly encourage you to, if I'm trying to prove A and B parallel to C and D, highlight those. So A and B and C and D, highlight those in your mind in every single question. You need an angle on AB and you need an angle on BC. If you don't have that, eliminate the choice. So what can I eliminate here? I can definitely eliminate A. There's no angle on AB, so it's not A. And I heard somebody say D, there's no angle on AB, so it can't be this one. So if I come over here and I test the other two, AC and BD, don't even need to do that one, AC and BD and AC and BD, what can I eliminate? C, not an angle, no information on this, so I can't use it. There's only one answer left. Okay, a lot of times eliminating your answer choices is going to give you what you need. And honestly, that's half of what we're trying to teach you in geometry, is to sift through all of the data, right? That's a hugely useful skill later in life. All right, question number 7. Talk me through it. What do I have to look at? This is kind of like the one we had in the warm-up today. All of these angles are congruent, so how do I think myself through this? Let's look at M. What does M tell me? Transversal M. What kind of angle relationship are these two? Are they same side or alternate?
Same side.
They're same side. What do we know about same side angles? They're congruent. Are they congruent? Same side angles?
Yeah.
So if I draw these and then I draw those, this same side angle and this same side angle, those are congruent?
No.
Same side supplementary, SSS, same side supplementary. This angle and this angle should be supplementary, and they are not. So P and Q are not parallel. Okay. Here, if I look at Q, that's supposed to be a straight line. So if I look at Q, what's the relationship between this 89 and this 89? Alternate interior. Alternate angles should be congruent, and they are. So here, M and N are parallel. Okay. They're hard to look at, guys. They're hard to look at. Got to get good at them. If I reflect over X, what happens to D? So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -1, that's D. -6, -1. If I reflect it over the X-axis, what happens? Where does it end up? Yeah, positive. So it goes -6, +1. So D prime is -6, +1. We flipped over the x-axis. Then it rotates 180 degrees. How many quadrants is 180 degrees? 2. So it's going to go 1 and change. The 6 and the 1 are going to switch. And then it's going to go 1 more and the 6 and the 1 are going to switch back. So I know it's going to be 6 and 1. Which one of those is negative? The 1, because it's in quadrant 3. So 6, -1. 6, -1. Because all of these start with a negative, 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 the 6 and the 1 are in the same spot. So the 3 and the 2 are going to be in the same spot. And the 5 and the 7 are going to be in the same spot. And they're all in quadrant 3. Okay, if you can do 1 point, you can do all 3 of them. They're going to follow the exact same pattern. We good? All right, all right, all right. This is where we start kind of the SAT level, the PSAT level questions. So what do I know about triangles that can help me here? They equal 180, absolutely. So if I know that my triangles equal 180, I'm not going to let those variables stress me out, right? I know that y plus x plus x plus y should equal 180. That's the first angle plus the second angle plus the third angle. So then I've got 2y plus 2x equals 180. What else do I know that can help me out? I've got to read the directions. Sometimes I'm very resistant to that. 2 times 40, all I do is substitute in that 40, but I got to be willing to read in order to get that. So then 2y plus 80 equals 180, and what does y equal? 50. Easy peasy, right? Don't let all of those variables freak you out. Just start with what you know. Doesn't matter if you go in the right direction or the wrong direction, you're just going in a direction. Inertia is the thing you got to overcome. This one is a little tricky. Anybody have an idea of how to start this one? What information are we given up here? L and M are parallel. So if I draw L is parallel to M, and then I know A, so let me highlight that. Are there alternate interior angles here? What's this little pink angle down here? Is it the same as this pink angle up here?
Yeah.
It sure is. That's alternate interior angles, right? Now, as if that was not tricky enough, if we just look at this triangle here, because I've got 3 variables all on that one triangle, I'm going to redraw it over here. So I've got X and B and A. I've got an interior angle and an interior angle and then an exterior angle. What do we know from Unit 4 about 2 interior angles and an exterior angle? Interior plus interior equals exterior. So A plus B equals X. And it's asking what is X? What does X equal in terms of A and B? So X equals A plus B. Voila. It's not really voila because there's a lot hiding in that, right? You got to be willing to just start with whatever you know, okay? When you're given a picture like this, just mark everything you can possibly mark. I might mark vertical angles. I might put B up here. There's a lot of different ways to do this other than the way that I just showed you. We've talked about reflexive sides in this unit. I want to talk about reflexive angles too. So what I kind of want you to visualize is like some of your stickers that I made for you, or even the t-shirts had multiple layers on top of them. So I want you to imagine this little triangle that's got a 70-degree angle and a 30-degree angle sitting on top of this other triangle. this angle up here and this angle here are exactly the same. So if I know the 70 and the 30, what's this missing angle up here? 80, because the whole thing has to be 180, right? Which means in this pink triangle, the top of it is 80. So if I pretend these 70 and 30 isn't even here, and I just look at the big pink triangle, I could write A plus B plus 80 equals 180. So what does A plus B equal? 100. Okay. PSAT and SAT like to give you questions with a lot of variables and not a lot of numbers. Last question, easiest one, I think. How do I find X? 180 minus 45, that's supposed to be a straight line. So whatever 180 minus 45 is, that is your answer. Questions, comments, concerns, worries? We all good? Then let me pause.